Hello guys on YouTube today. How are you guys today? Well, I want to talk to you about my Toshiba receiver from the 1960s to the 1970s. Well, this old receiver does have grounding. You can ground it, but should you use a outdoor ground or a indoor ground system? I'd recommend you use a outdoor grounding because if you decide to get an outdoor antenna, that's typically what it's designed for, but you can ground it inside if you want. But the problem is the speakers are going to buzz and you're going to have problems with the grounding on your receiver. The problem is you'd have to filter out the ground on somehow to filter the ground out on the receiver end itself. But like I said, I mean, this is a old stereo, guys. I mean, it's pretty old. It still works, but I'm not going to turn it on because I now have it upside down to show you on the inside of the bottom of the stereo itself. And by the way, it all works. Everything does work on it. I like it a lot. Well, let's go ahead and show you what I mean on the type of stuff you can do with this old stereo. Here we have a standard ground, a household electrical ground, but as you can see it's not filtered. You need to have a filter on it to be able to filter the receiver itself. But this normally, it's normally not upside down. Normally it's facing up. But I took out all the little screws, to show you what the inside of this looks like. This is the bottom of the stereo itself, receiver. Let's go ahead and we're gonna pull up from this point of the little feet, and the reason why it has a lip on it. This is just the standard bottom. You know, this is the standard bottom. Yeah, you gotta clean them again. Oh boy, it's all dirty again. But this is what the inside of my receiver looks like, guys. It's pretty nice. Everything it's very good on the inside of the receiver. Again, here is going to be your transformer. Here is going to be your heatsink with your voltage regulators on. This is going to be your power board. This is going to be your sound board. Here's your RC jacks right here, RCA jacks. Here's your speakers. Here's your speaker fuses. Here's your main fuse. And it's on wires going to it. Kind of stuff. It does work. And on this side, this is the main, all the main switch kind of stuff on this side. And it works. Again, show you the on angle. On this side here, again, the same angle. Here's the volume switch on that side. And all the switches do kind of work. They're all pod switches on this side as well. Pod switch has pods in it. And I had the standard twist ones. You can twist. Push buttons, volume, analog, radio. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside of it being upside down. This is what the whole unit is made out of. It's made out of wood, and it's also made out of a metal. It's made out of metal. The chassis is grounded, but you can also ground it somehow to your wall. But this here would probably need cleaned because this paint won't have a good ground. It needs to be bare metal like this. And by the way, aluminum does ground, but it's pretty awkward to ground it. But, and like I said, this is just the whole stereo. Whole stuff, guys. Everything right here, guys. Let's talk about this little modification wire I made. This wire I made just to test out the ground. See, that's a standard wall ground with a crimp-on connection kind of stuff. But I do not recommend using this wire without some type of filter on it. And don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt this stereo. I have it unplugged, guys. Don't worry. It's just a standard connection. Crimp one kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just experimenting on how I can ground it. And if you're curious on where is the ground at, it's right now. So it's the ground. All it is just a screw in ground piece here. Typically it'll be on that side, not on this side. It'll be flipped up, not flipped down. But this is a very old receiver. It really does work on what I need it for and what I'm using it for. And by the way, it's a couple things you gotta note. This is a switch box. It doesn't need a ground on it. There's an on switch box. Doesn't need a ground on it. But the biggest problem is you will need a ground if you're using an outdoor antenna. Just making sure your speakers don't buzz on you. And that's what's happening to this old stereo. It's pretty old. The wiring is very nice and neat inside of here. It's zip tied nice and neat. Not too tight, loose. You know, you want it loose. You don't want the zip ties to be too tight. Because if you're having power going through these lines, okay, if you have power going through these wires, you can have a arcing issue. And you can have a arcing problem with the wires itself. And by the way, the solder on this is lead. By the way, this is not lead free. I don't want to touch this board too much because I don't want to get lead on my hands. But this main board over here I'm pointing to, that's the power board. This on board is the audio kind of section of the board with the FM and AM kind of stuff. This is the on board. It only has 1, 2, 3 boards. Actually, it has 4 boards. This is the on board. This board here controls. This board here controls everything. That's the main front control board. But you see how it's all laid out, guys. It's all laid out very, very nice and neat. Everything is spaced with these plastic spacer for the boards do not touch the metal chassis. And what do I mean about the metal chassis? The metal chassis is just a pieces of metal put together for this receiver to work right. And typically you will see a receiver, like a new receiver, is not going to have all this nice layout. Like this one from the 1960s to the 1970s receivers. This is all nice and laid out. And we do got a couple disconnect plugs. Not everything can be disconnected on this board. Again, we do gotta be careful. The wires are nice and neat. Again, the zip tie is nice and loose, not too tight. This is your main audio board. Okay, this is what I was trying to show you guys before. The audio, like I said, comes from these guys alone. And he comes down to this main board. This main board attaches to all the audio stuff, and it also attaches to this guy. This is also the main audio source, but this is the main little circuit board again. It's not attaching to the it's not touching the metal chassis. It's again on these plastic clips on 3 of them to help to keep the main board up. Again, it's all lead solder on this. It does have, let's count how many boards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 5 main boards in it, all separated circuit boards. By the way, they're not one single board. They're one single board, but they're not one whole board like you typically would see on most receivers or DVD players. You will see it. This does have one board. This one main board. This one does not have the one main board. It has individual single boards. If one board fails, you can repair it. Or if you can't repair this board, you got to replace it with a new board. But remember, these are older caps, by the way. And again, we got a lot of different little circuit boards down there, circuitry kind of MOSFETs kind of stuff. This has an antenna system. This has play 1, record 1, or play 2, and that's what the circuits on this board was originally on how it was made. But this is a very, very nice and neat way to set how this is set up. And by the way, should you ground it? That's totally up to you if you want to filter the ground from your household electrical. If you really want to ground it, you're gonna probably have to make some type of ground for, like I did. But I'm gonna try to see if I can filter it. I don't know if it's gonna work, guys. Hey, we can always always can give it a shot, guys. You know what I mean? But yeah, you gotta make sure your chassis is nice and clean. Make sure it's no contaminates on the chassis. Make sure you got a good ground on the system. And like I said, this is just what the underside of my old receiver is. That thing looks pretty nice on it. You guys can see it. Very nice little unit. Very nice setup, guys. I really like it a lot. And so I'm pretty proud of it and kind of stuff. I'm pretty happy on the way it's set up and stuff like that. And by the way, each of these boards are grounded to the chassis itself if you have a good grounding system for. But like I said, that's about it with this way this chassis is designed. Not much in design, but it's very unique and a very unique chassis itself. It's kind of almost like a stereo, just a metal chassis. And they got wood on each side. You don't need to ground the wood. All you need to do is figure out how to ground this. That's all. But it's very nice, guys. Alright, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this stereo. I hope you enjoyed this video. But okay, guys. I hope you guys like, subscribe, comment, and also please share this video. And I will see you in the next vlog. Alright, guys. Peace out. This is from your technology Chris Hill. I do like technology. I do work on it. Alright. Peace out. Bye, guys.